Everybody's to shape. Now, you remember when I made that video saying, hey, give me a call. That video, by the time you see this one here, that video will have been uploaded too. Now, it's nothing about debunking or anything. It's just me taking phone calls and talking on the phone. Pretty fun. Pretty heartwarming, even. I couldn't get to everybody's calls, but got to as many as I could. So I asked, what makes a good debunker? Or a great debunker? Or a mediocre debunker? What skills makes them the best that they can be? Like, for instance, maybe somebody that's an expert on electronics and cameras and all the doodads and gizmos, like World of Mr. Gray. Fantastic debunker. Now, what else, what other skills would you say makes a good debunker? Like, for instance, somebody that has studied film and editing and directing, continuity, film mistakes, all that stuff, fan of scary movies. Or a real paranormal investigator. They know what to look for because they know how investigations work and what actually stuff they caught that's actually unexplained, so they would know what to look for in something that's possibly staged. But what about a fake ghost hunter? Would they make a good debunker? Somebody that's staged plenty of times before. Think about that. They would know exactly what to look for because a lot of them are creative and they've done it. Let's get into this video because it's going to be a good one. So a channel called Simply Strange is up to bat. Ben, if you've been a sub of mine for a couple of years, you'll remember a channel called Laney and Ben. Ben, the one who's over the channel Simply Strange, he doesn't do that stage stuff anymore. He's switched to like paranormal news. And hey, as far as I'm concerned, I applaud that. Fantastic. He's kind of built for that. He does really good. All the props in the world. But the question is, how good... Now, he don't claim to be a debunker. But let's see how good he does. Because he is an expert when it comes to, well, doing like Lee from Really Haunted. We'll run around staging, overlaying, the same, all that stuff. So let's watch. Let's see what happens.
Now, I'm sure as you're all very well aware, that was a clip from the YouTube channel Really Haunted. Now, you're probably wondering, Ben, why are you looking at Really Haunted today? I received an email from someone who watches the videos on this channel, and they said, "Hi Ben, I hope that you are happy and well. The channel I was suspicious about is the one someone else commented on called Really Haunted, which you've probably heard of. I did want to hear your calm and measured thoughts on this, in their words, dreadful channel."
Oh, Ben. This is just a slight critique right out of the gate. Make sure you stay unbiased when you're reporting the paranormal news. Some people aren't going to be that black and white when it comes to talking about subjects. They kind of tend to stay in the safe gray area. That person that emailed you, Ben, is absolutely right. His content is, it's ass.
I only came across it the other night by accident. I was rather shocked by how many subscribers they have, and the content too is atrocious. It makes a mockery of the real, genuine channels and the paranormal community as a whole, in my opinion. I thought we had it bad in the UK with Most Haunted, but this guy's channel, well, words fail me. I've obviously, I know very well about Really Haunted. Literally, when I was making paranormal content, I would use like Really Haunted as like a benchmark to get ideas from, to like see what kind of things like Lee would do, and like I would try and mimic or copy some of the stuff, because if it worked for him, maybe it would work for us.
Admitting to staging a video. I'm all for it. I mean, I have nothing negative to say here whatsoever. I think it's actually commendable. Told you so. But moving on.
There are countless channels out there that have, you know, pulled apart Lee's content and like debunked it. I'm not a debunker myself, but I'm gonna have a look at it today. Not to like, I'm not one of those people, like, if you want like a very harsh critique, go and watch Beardo.
Hey, I mean, sometimes the truth is harsh, so you gotta applaud Beardo. That's for sure.
If you want a very sarcastic critique, go and watch the Side-Eye Guy.
I thought I was the sarcastic one.
If you want a very cynical breakdown.
Cynical breakdown. This next debunker you're about to mention must be a loser.
I suppose, go and watch someone like The Shape.
What? What the fuck?
What do you mean by that?
I'm not like that guy that's gonna, you know, be critical or horrible about Lee as a person, or his content for that matter, but what I am going to do is I'm going to look through it as someone who literally actually copied Lee's content at times, and see if I could explain to you how I could recreate it, alright? Obviously I can't say for certain it is fake because I'm not actually there, but
I can't speak for anyone, but I can honestly say I appreciate and I admire and respect anybody that comes out and says, hey, look, I staged videos before. And see, that's a good skill to have. We'll see how good you are at debunking. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. You may be really good. I've heard that a million times when people say, I wasn't there, so I don't know if it's fake or not. Like that means a whole bunch. Like you got to be there to really know if it's staged or real. That's nonsense. It's like saying a homicide investigator or a crime scene investigator. They got to be there witnessing the actual event happening in order to know what happened. No, that's not how it works. You take the evidence that you got, the little small pieces, and you put them together to tell the big picture.
let's have a look. So obviously we've seen the intro already at the start of the video, so we saw something fall over. But there is something it is worth noting, right, from that intro. So let's just have a watch again. So as you can see there, the door, like behind my fat head and bubble, moved open, and then something fell out. An argument to be made that possibly there was like pressure against the door which caused the door to open and then something to fall out. We'll move on because there is something else worth noting. There, right? So just before Lee starts making noise, okay, you can hear like there's like a buzz, like a buzz, like a, you know, a staticky background noise, or like white noise kind of sound in the background. The thing falls, the noise is there, but then as soon as it falls out and it's like hits the ground, then the noise stops, right? Listen back to it.
Okay, looks like Ben here has some pretty good sense. Never thought I'd even say that, but hey, learn something new every day, and here we are. This particular case, he's saying that the sound of the outside camera, the Nest camera, is being overlaid to the room camera. So when you hear that thing falling, he just overlaid it onto the room camera, and you can hear white noise too, to where the camera starts and to when it stops. But no, and I'm going to point out why here in a minute. But what I will say is, I don't think that's background. I don't think that's, you know, white noise of the camera. I think that's the sound of something rubbing as it's scooting. Like who's ever in that closet, they're scooting that big plastic box. It's not white noise. But I'll show you why here in a minute. Oh, and by the way, the dog heard the noise.
You can hear it there. We hear the things falling now. And it dies, right? As soon as the noise of the whatever it is falling out falls out, it's like it stops. You can hear it there. We hear the things falling now. And it dies.
I'm just not hearing what being here is hearing. Okay, why are you not? You should talk about the dog's reaction too. Because I didn't see Lee kick the dog and wake it up. So the dog had to have heard something. There's, in my opinion, I think somebody is right out there in that hallway that we don't see. I don't think he overlaid the sound. I think there's somebody out there, and I'm going to show you why here in a minute.
In my opinion, if I was to recreate this video, how I would have done it is I would have had obviously these two recordings on separate timelines. So if it were me recreating this video, these would have been shot at 2 different times. All right, so I would have had a video of me in bed with the dog and with my wife or whatever in bed. And then I would have had a separate recording at a different time that I probably would have either already recorded or I'm about to record. And I would have had, and there would be 2 separate recordings. And what I think and how I would recreate this is I would have overlaid the sound of the noise falling from the first camera that we saw, the one that said nest in the top corner. And I would have overlaid it into this footage, myself in my bed, to make it sound like it's happened at the same time. Right, so then I seem like I'm accounted for. Does that make sense? I'm not very good at explaining this stuff.
You don't have to explain too hard, Ben, because lucky for you, my audience are debunking community, and they're sharp as razors. So what he means, guys, is he took the hallway sound and overlaid it over the room sound and just lined it up the right timing. That's it.
But you can hear like the bzzz and then the drop off, right? Because blatantly 2 separate cameras. Security cameras are fantastic, but their audio quality is like listening to drum and bass through a Pringles tube. Not very good at all. And so it does have this like bzzz, like whirring sound. Whereas this camera, if it's shot on like an actual camera or if it's shot on like a phone or whatever, it's going to be different audio quality. Like the audio on this, usually like it removes background noise as it records. So it gets a bit of a cleaner, crisper sound. So I think that's probably what could have possibly happened here. And I found this editing issue myself. It's really hard to match up those audios to make it sound like you're in the same place at the same time, if that makes sense. Anyway, moving forward.
And as Lee, the biggest faker on planet Earth, staggers his way out into the hallway, just want to mention something to you, Ben. When you're watching a video, you got to take all the information, not just watch it and react as you go, but as a debunker, you got to watch all the video. That way you can get a whole cohesive story. Like, you know, how can we prove there's a guy out in the hallway? We didn't see a guy open that, so he had to overlay the sound, right? But when Lee goes out in the hallway, somebody opens the door out in the hallway and scares Lee, and he takes off running back in. So, as a debunker, you look at that and go, obviously there's somebody we're not seeing there. You see how that works? And then you can hence take that, because now we know somebody's there off camera, and match it up. The beginning of the paranormal.
Now, obviously, the audio that we're hearing here is really crisp and clean because it's coming from this, right? Oh, you can't see. It's coming from this, which is like a Rode wireless microphone, which are really, really good. They're like lapel microphones. It's like having a studio microphone just on your chest. It's
boiler room door's been thinged, and there's like shit all over the floor.
Right around here, I got bored.
But apart from the recliner downstairs, like nothing has really happened over Christmas. This is the first thing, but the recliner probably 10, 15 times.
Can we just take the time to appreciate Lee running in terror? Click, click. Let's watch it again, just because I appreciate it. And it's funny.
So if this were me creating this, what I would have done in that scenario. Right now, this footage here of Lee leaving the room and then coming back into the room is all kind of shot on different timelines, kind of clipped together to make it almost look as if it's all one seamless clip. That's how I used to do it. Sometimes it would pay off, sometimes there'll be overlaps in the footage and it would be like timings were a little bit off. Obviously the bangs can also be integrated. There wasn't too much change in the audio, but again, I would have used that lapel microphone and just like had someone in the loft just going bang, bang, bang. Or after I finish recording everything, I just go up there myself, bang, 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 leave the microphone on like the banister, like here or something. And it would give off the same effect.
And Ben here is absolutely dead accurate on what he's saying right here. I mean, to do the overlaid sounds like I've done in past videos, like knocking on the cabinet or the door, whatever, just set your microphone where close. It doesn't even have to be exact, but close to where you would be standing, right? Or where the noise is coming from. Like I would just set a tripod and a mic up right next to the door and be outside the door knocking. I'd come back in the room, put my microphone on my chest and stand where the tripod was. And overlay the sound, it sounds perfect. So good on you, Ben.
I would have had someone in this room pull the door open. Obviously, we can't see inside, and it's a door that moves inward, so it's really easy to give off the effect that the door's opening by itself.
Shit, I'm sorry.
I watch videos for the dog.
That has just scared the shit out of me. I was just talking, then like some super loud bangs on the attic lid. Then I was scared of going out now. So that's what I came out to.
Now, real quick, that closet that Lee is showing you where all the stuff got pulled out of the closet, pushed out or whatever, that closet is plenty big enough to hide a kid in, or even an adult male could see it in the main back of that thing and push that big plastic container out. You know, especially if you had it like pushed all the way against the door to where it didn't take much to knock it out. I mean, it could be done. And the fact the door opened and Lee took off running back in this room shows us that somebody is there that we can't see. Or it's a demon. Vlad.
But as you can see, like, nobody can get in there. That box and all that stuff, there is no room.
Obviously, if this were me, I would have probably had the box leant up against the door, put a bit of pressure against the door, and then when it was time for the footage to be rolling and for it to fall out, I would have just let go of that pressure on the door.
Stuff like this, whether you like Ben or you don't like Ben or whatever your thoughts is on Ben, you gotta at least appreciate, you know, he's giving you some good stuff here. You know, as a debunker, when somebody that actually staged and did a lot of similar stuff to Lee, that is really helpful, because I mean, you can not only you can get into the mind of, you know, somebody staging, but you learn a lot of the tricks of the trade.
That bit on the stairs.
Lee, the grift is almost over, pal. You don't have much longer. But I need some holy water. You know.
Right, I'm just going to have a quick go on an app. Are you in here?
Right, let's have a look.
Are you in here with me, Vlad? Are you here?
Right, I've just felt a scratch on me.
Oh, Lee got scratched. Yet another thing that is very, 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 very easily faked. I mean, especially a little paper cut like Lee got.
Yeah. Let me try.
Oh, okay. I mean, in my opinion, it doesn't look fresh, of course. You know, it does look like it's an older wound. I mean, if it was fresh, there would have been some, like, a little, like, drops of blood, especially where these deeper parts are. Are those marks there?
Those are warts. What, you don't like that joke? Okay. Whatever. I'll just tell. I know. I'll see myself out.
Stop.
Now, this is a classic. The Hobbs making them. I've done this one before. It was really simple. You have your recording device next to the whatever it is. Obviously, the Hobbs are off camera, so there could just be someone there just like holding down the gas button. But I've done it before. You just literally go da and you record, and then I never did it for too long because I was worried about, like, you know, leaking gas into the air without like igniting it. So I literally did it for like a couple of seconds and then just took the audio and then just played it on repeat, and it gave off the same effect like this. It was just added in post-production when I did it. It was quite simple to do.
Very unique insights into this stuff, man. And it's priceless when it comes to debunking, no matter who it's coming from. It's a unique insight and it helps. And like I said, you got to applaud Ben. I am. I mean, I don't want to drink a beer with him, but I definitely applaud him. Now, this next clip, we're going to learn about blind spots. In case you're new here, watch the clip and I'll show you what I mean.
Gas ain't on or anything.
Now, what's a blind spot for you newcomers? Right down here where the camera cannot see. See, anybody could be crouched down there opening that door. It's crazy how the ghosts always see the blind spots. Oh, that's a blind spot right there. And also, to the right, that's a blind spot. And conveniently enough, that's where all the paranormal happens. Look up there.
If I was to recreate this, obviously we can see here the bottom of the countertop is completely off camera.
I also love how Lee looks up at the camera like, are you seeing this? It's crazy. And here's how the cuts come in. Lee goes to grab the camera, he cuts to this camera, and then he walks over here to grab the handheld camera, and that is another cut, which gives the person in the kitchen time to roll out. And then Lee walks over there like, oh, see, this is happening all at the same time, and we know good and well that it's not.
As we can see, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt with this one, but if it were me, when I go to pick up the camera and there's that cut provides either enough time when he's picking up the camera and walking through to the kitchen, gives enough time for whoever might be laying there to leave. I've done this before, so I know what I'm talking about.
Wow, it's like deja vu or something. I mean, it's word for word on how I've called Lee out in the past. And you, Ben, just saying.
Or just before he picks up the camera and he cuts over to the next video of him picking this up, could have just been a window of time where whoever was there leaves and then Lee picks it up, and because it's clipped together, it gives off the effect that he's just leant down, picked it up straight away, and he's walking.
You are correct. Man, it always comes full circle, I think. Like I said, man, you have to applaud being here. Like I said, whether you like him or you don't like him or whatever, I think what he's doing now, you know, covering paranormal news and all that, as long as he keeps it unbiased, I think that's awesome. It's amazing. You know, and he admitted to staging his videos. So, I mean, what more can you ask for? You got to applaud that. Lee, on the other hand, he's going to continually just run it into the ground for subs and views, attention, monetarily, and take the audience's sympathies. Like, you know, I'm really being affected by this. This is really rough on me. And the audience in the comments, oh, I'm praying for you, Lee. I'm praying for you. Hang in there, buddy. Go hang some garlic up. Go get you 20 crosses and some holy water. They're really concerned about a dude running around in his underwear staging videos. Lee, you make me sick. Moving on.
Open it. You've seen how easy it is. You did it yourself.
Oh, he opened
Oh,
it.
shut it.
And that's about all I can hack from that. Can't stand Lee. But hey, get that grip, Lee. We know you're really haunted. I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. But not really. But moving on. Guys, that's the end of the debunking part of the video. This is the part where I just talk to you. Well, I mean, if you call it debunking, it's more a reaction of somebody else kind of debunking and me putting my 2 cents. But anyway, comment below what your thoughts are. You pretty much know my thoughts. I've done a lot of videos on Lee and Ben, for that matter. But if you want to check out Ben's channel, it's called Simply Strange, where he does news. I mean, it's admirable compared to running around stage and stuff. Yeah, he does it good too, so good on him. Now, join Debunkers Anonymous on Facebook, where we talk debunking 24 hours, 7 days a week. And yeah, do that. And by the time this video comes out, the phone call where I took calls, that video will be up. Just want to warn you, a lot of nervous ticks there. Because I don't know why I got nervous filming the video, but when I'm talking to the camera, it doesn't bother me. But when I'm talking to an actual person, anxiety. That's all I can tell you. I love you guys. I appreciate you. And as always, got some bangers on the way, and I'll see you in the next video. Y'all come back now, you hear? Hidden word is Cobalt Dragon, so go sub to